Hey, it's me, TB, and this is going to be my introduction / day one clip of my reading vlog for Crave by Tracy Wolff. This was, okay, I originally saw this being like billed as like a feminist Twilight. So we're gonna see if that's true. So far it is very like Twilight-esque, because first of all it's fucking huge, so there's that. Second of all, it's following this girl named Grace as she's moving to Alaska after both of her parents have died. And she's moving to Alaska because her uncle runs an academy there. Why? I don't know, but it's there. And the students might not be all human. That's what I'm getting from it so far. 70-ish pages in. We've already met our love interest, Jackson. And so far, Grace feels like a little bit of a Mary Sue, but I'm still kind of vibing with it because I like the setting very much. Jackson is doing the whole like, I'm going to be a dick, but when we're like alone, I'm going to be nice. Which, see, I personally eat that shit up. So I know that's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but I personally am eating the fuck out of it. So there we go. I do like our cast of characters so far. They all seem like pretty chill and like nice. Granted, they haven't gone through any like development because, like I said, only like 70 pages in out of like 590 or so. One thing I will say so far is that the chapter titles are very like, I don't know how to say this without sounding like awful, but they're kind of cringe, but cringe in like, it makes you think of like Wattpad kind of way, you know what I mean? The chapter I'm on right now is chapter 9, and it's called Even Hell Has Its Factions, which doesn't sound that bad. I'll find one that's more campy, because some of them are very like, what the fuck is this title? So chapter 7 is called Something Really Freaking Wicked This Way Comes. That's nice. Chapter 6 is called No, I Really Don't Want to Build a Snowman. So as you can see, the chapter titles are very questionable, but I feel like if we go into expecting this to basically be like more modern Twilight, you'll be fine. So far anyway. Don't really see what's like feminist about it yet. But again, only like that much in, so who knows where this is gonna go. I'm probably going to update you every like 100 pages or so. You can expect at least another like 5 more updates, probably. One thing I will say is that this does do the whole thing where like it's very obvious like what these characters are when it comes to like paranormal creatures. Because for instance, you know, obviously this is like billed as like paranormal romance. That's like a feminist Twilight. So we already know that Jackson is a fucking vampire. You know, the cover too. But Grace does not know that yet. So for warnings, a lot of like, girl, it's so obvious, what the fuck are you not like picking up on? Like, I think in the last chapter I met like 2 characters that came in from outside, and they were talking about how when they got caught doing stuff they weren't supposed to be doing, they blamed it on the full moon. And Grace was like, what are you talking about? I was like, girl, they're fucking werewolves. What do you mean? What are they talking about? It's so obvious. But again, I can't wait when she figures this out, because it's coming. It has to come. But it's gonna be good, I feel. At least a 3 stars, hopefully more, but yeah. That's been my experience so far with Crave. So it's like day 2 of me reading Crave, and I'm like on page like 203, I think. I am eating the shit up. I'm doing this probably more than I should, because I'm like sucked in, and I had to like stop myself. I knew that if I kept reading, I would have just finished the whole thing in one sitting, which would ruin this vlog. So here we are. No offense, the plot isn't like incredible. I'm gonna guess that like the main plot in quotes so far is that our main character Grace is trying to like figure out why this school is like so weird, like why people act so weird around her, I guess. Like it's obvious now like that something is going on, but Grace just doesn't know yet. Like as a reader, it's obvious like what's going on, but she just doesn't know yet. I think there are fucking dragons at the school, because earlier on, like before like around page 100, which is like a while ago, well like before that too, there were references to like dragons being carved in places. And then one of our characters is like talking to Grace, and they start a sentence with the words like dra, then they say like drastic, and I was like you were trying to say something else, I can tell. And so I think there are dragons, and I think one of our like main cast is a dragon. I'm not sure yet because I don't know, but I think he's a dragon, and I'm kind of here for it. And like I'm sad that there's like not more book, even though like I'm still not even like halfway done, but still like the shit has me like sucked in it and like involved. And I'm still not really seeing like the feminist aspects of it, but the romance is like less toxic than Twilight so far. the love interest has like chilled out and become like less shitty. So that's good. He's done a lot of like cute shit recently, so love that. And I feel like they've almost kissed like 3-4 times. And yeah, it's going great. Loving it. And so yeah, I'll update you when I read more, I guess, maybe. I'm dumb and I forgot to like add this part in, but so far it is like more diverse than Twilight ever was, because one of our like main cast is black, so that's good. I don't think anything awful like racially insensitive has been said yet. I don't think anyway. There have been at least 2 Asian characters. One I think was only like mentioned in like passing, and then the other one, I'm assuming she's Asian because her last name is Japanese, so I'm assuming she's Asian at least some way somehow. So yeah, that's always good. Main character's best friend back at her old school is like at least bisexual, maybe pansexual, I'm not sure. So that's a thing. It's cool. She's been mentioned like twice so far, so I don't think she's gonna be like a main character, but it's there, and that's cool. Yeah, besides that, not a lot other diversity, but still, that's more diversity than Twilight had, so there we go. I have another update with Crave. I just passed page 320-ish, I think. I haven't read the book in like over a week because I was reading other stuff. I'm hoping to finish this before the month is over because there's like 2 days left. And right now it's like Thursday at like 3 a.m. So yeah, it's going great for me. And we just hit the like midpoint climax, I think. And Grace has like just now figured out that this school is full of like not humans, basically. I haven't seen the whole like fallout yet because the chapter I stopped reading at was literally the moment that she like figures it all out, or at least is like told it. There are like more questions that need to be answered, but right now I have no idea where it's gonna go because there are some questions I have and I just hope they get answered, you know? So far, our love interest Jackson is better than Edward from like Twilight. He like respects Grace's wishes more often, I guess. So I guess kind of see like at least he's not toxic at the very least, but it just feels very like weirdly placed. Is that his entire like crew, they're all very diverse, and that I know it's a weird thing to like nitpick, but so far there haven't been many people that aren't white, or at least have been like explicitly told that they're not white. But like this group of friends, they're all like not white, and we're all told that they're not white. So it just feels very weird to just see this like random group of like diversity just all together, especially given that again like we haven't seen many people that aren't white so far. So it's just weird to see them all come at once. They haven't done much for the plot besides be basically Jackson's like friends in the background. So there's that. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking right now. I have a lot of like other thoughts. I am suspicious of one of the characters, Leah, because I just do not trust her. I feel like something like dark behind her motivations, or at least maybe she's like the red herring, because sometimes I just get bad vibes. So yeah, should probably like clarify about Jackson's group, because there's Jackson, who is white, then there's like Meki, who is black. I think Raphael is just, we're just told that he is like bronze skin and he has long black hair, and then Grace assumes that he's like Native Alaskan, which I don't know why you would assume that first thing, but okay, I guess. I haven't been told if he actually is or not, but I guess there's that. And then who else is there? I don't think there's like an Asian guy in the group, or at least have not been told that yet. I mean, his crew haven't been like offensive with the like racist stereotypes yet, but you know, there's still time for that to happen, you know? I have no idea what else to like say, because I have like conflicting thoughts, but the like reveal that was leading up to her finding out about the like creatures at the school was done very well. It was starting to get to the point where I was getting like tired of just waiting for it to happen, because it's obvious that like there are like vampires here, you know? It's like, it's obvious to us, but not to her, I guess, you know? And like, if it lasted another like 50 pages, I would have like gotten like really annoyed with it, but it stopped. So we're free from that, and that's good. I have no idea what the like conflict is going to be, because Grace has gotten like warnings about it's not safe, but I thought that was for like the dragons. Oops, spoilers, they're fucking dragons. It was confirmed. There are dragons at this fucking school. There's that. Like, so far, we know that there's like witches, werewolves, dragons, and vampires. maybe more. I have no idea. Like, so Grace is told to be careful. We don't know why. And then something happened where she gets attacked. And then it's like, we have no idea what attacked her, like what happened, at least not yet. So, and then Jackson's all cryptic because he says that because they're like together, she's in danger now more than ever, and they can't be together anymore. You know, the typical like paranormal romance trope of like, we kissed, therefore we can't be together anymore because it's dangerous or whatever. Yeah, that happened, even though we know it's not gonna like last, but maybe it will last. Maybe it will, who knows? I'm really enjoying this so far. I definitely think it's gonna be at least like 4 stars for me, maybe a 5, depending on how it like wraps up. Because, like I said, there hasn't been any like actual like conflict, I guess, really. At least like not like a main one besides like her trying to fit into school, which I mean, I guess is like a conflict if there's nothing like major given the like circumstances. I have no idea how this is going to be a trilogy so far, because like I'm assuming there's going to be some like major plot reveal towards the end. But yeah, right now I have no idea how this is going to be like a series, because it's just like a romance. So like, and yeah, those are my thoughts. I guess I'll update you when I read more. I was going to read tomorrow, which is, or like, I guess today, technically, in a few hours. But I have to edit a video, which might take me all morning. And yeah, I want to have this done before the month was over. I don't think it's going to happen. So, I just finished Crave. I read the last, like, 200-ish pages in, like, one sitting, because I was going to stop, but then we hit the, like, last big, like, finale moment. So I wanted to just read that all real quick. I'm not going to give my like full thoughts right now because I want to like do that when I'm sitting down and it's like 5 a.m. so my brain is like not all here. But what I will say is that overall it is going to be like 4 stars for me, I think. It's not going to be a 5 because I have some issues with some things, and I feel like the like last little like climax finale felt a little bit rushed. I did still like it. I did still like what it's going to like lay down when it comes to the like sequels to this. I did like that, and I did like where the ending left us, because it does answer one question that is put forth. But still, I'm just curious to see where things are gonna go, I guess, because the synopsis for book 2 has me wondering so many things. I will say that the relationship is at least less toxic in this than it is in Twilight, so that's good. But the thing is, I feel like sometimes it tries to push like too hard to it not being toxic, if that makes sense. So like it tries to hit home very hard that like they're not toxic and that they're like more aware of things than we were back in like 2006, which I get, but at the same time it feels forced sometimes. I did still like this, and I'm still going to like get the sequel, and I did like their like romance, because there's still parts towards the end where he was like, I'm a monster, you can't love me. And then Grace is like, fuck no, I'm gonna love you anyway. And I did eat that shit up, so I can't really say anything bad about that. I will say that towards the end, I wish we saw more of like just Grace being able to like acknowledge that there are like supernatural beings here, like she does, but we don't see her like integrating with them, if that makes sense. We don't really see her like interacting with Jackson's group of like friends, really. Like only Meki comes up a lot. Everyone else kind of like falls to the wayside. It is kind of like explained why his friend circle is so like diverse when like the rest of the school isn't, and the rest of the school isn't explicitly said to be like as diverse, because it turns out that the whole order is like this group of like royal vampires basically. So that explains it, because they're apparently from like all over the world. So that explains why they're all so diverse out of like nowhere. So that's good. And I just wish we saw like more of them like being in the plot, because they don't do a lot. And again, no one really does a lot besides like the main like core cast, which I get. It doesn't mean I didn't want to see more of like everyone else. And yeah, I think these are my main thoughts. I did still like it, and I do think that I'm going to read the sequel, and I'm going to read Crave again in the future. But I just think that I just wanted like more from it. Like it is already like, super long, but I still wanted to like more stuff to be explained and more stuff to be like just like experienced in the plot, if that makes sense. So yeah, those are my thoughts. I will definitely talk about it more when I'm doing my sit down of this, but yeah, it was good. And yeah, I will see you when I update next. It is time to film the outro / review of Crave by Tracy Wolff. I've been making my way through this for the past few weeks and I just finished it, so I'm here to give you my thoughts. It has been slightly over 24 hours since I have finished this, so I feel like I have my thoughts put together better, or at least I hope so. So I maintain that this is a 4 out of 5 for me, which is weird because usually I give anything with like vampires in it an automatic 5, but this one is getting a 4. It isn't because it's like bad or anything, so much as I had a lot of like issue with the plot flow, or like it's weird, so I'm going to talk about why it's a 4. Basically, I'm usually here for love that happens almost immediately, but this book has a very quick insta love. We get kind of like explained towards the end about why our love interest Jackson behaves the way that he does, and potentially insight into why they are so drawn together, but it isn't explicitly said yet, so I don't want to assume anything. So maybe book 2 will like elaborate further and I will feel more comfortable with this. But until then, it feels very like quick. I get it, he's supposed to be like the hot guy, so of course our main character is going to think he's hot, but still just feels like it happens very quickly. And while Jackson does disprove that he at least cares about Grace multiple times, I still feel like they fall in love a little bit too quickly, which again, it's kind of like slightly explained towards the end, but not like directly, so don't want to assume anything. Now, when it comes to whether or not this is like the feminist Twilight, it covers a lot of the issues that people had with Twilight, sometimes too much so, in a sense that it feels like it's trying to hit you over the head with the fact that their relationship is like not toxic, which is good. Sometimes it feels like they're a little bit too like good, I guess, if that makes sense. Like they do argue and stuff. It still feels like it was written to be like perfect, I guess. Like I still like them as a couple, but I felt like it was trying so hard to like show that it wasn't toxic like Twilight. So that was my thing. And throughout this, our main character Grace, it does have like other friends and like family that she does talk to throughout the book. It does become more focused on like Jackson and like in his circle of friends towards the end, but still Grace still like at least interacts with her family members throughout the novel, and she does like kind of form friendships with Jackson's friends. So yeah, like I will say that Grace feels a lot less isolated than Bella does in Twilight, and I do feel like Jackson is like more in touch with his like emotions in comparison to Edward, in the sense that he's at least aware of his fuck ups and says like sorry a few times, so that's good. And so far in the series, there hasn't been any like problematic representation of Indigenous people, so already we're on a pretty good start. There are 2 Indigenous people in this book so far. There's Raphael, who is one of Jackson's friends, or like is in his like main circle. He doesn't do a lot besides like talk like a few times, but he's there. He's chill, I guess. And then there's the librarian, I think her name's like Amka. She's there, and like she seems like really cool, and I hope we see more of her. She appears for like 1 chapter so far, and that kind of sucks because I like what we did see of her, like what we see of her personality, because she does like decorate the library in a very interesting way. So that was pretty cool. I did really like this setting in like castle in the middle of like this Arctic wilderness, because like most books take place in like California. So yeah, I also like the unique twist of having like dragons be there as the students, because usually we just get like vampires, werewolves, and witches, but this one has like vampires, werewolves, witches, and dragons, so at least that's something like new to the table, you know? We don't get told like what each like group can really do, but like for instance, Amka is a witch, and she has control over the elements, and then there is like a nurse that is also a witch, and she can like heal. So we know like of like at least 2 different kinds of witches so far. Maybe there are more, I don't really know. And then dragons also have powers. Like obviously they can breathe fire, but they can also like breathe gusts of wind, or like, because that's used a few times, and they can like shapeshift into like their dragon form. I have no idea what like werewolves can do besides like be wolves, you know? Maybe there's more to them, I don't know. But they didn't do a lot, so yeah. I just really like the setting and like what is being set up too, because there's a lot of like potential to explore a lot of like new territory when it comes to paranormal romance. So I did like that. And like even towards the end, it's still very ambiguous on like whether or not our characters are making the right decision or not. And when it comes to complaints, I just feel like it took too long for Grace to like realize that there were like paranormal creatures around her. Like it took into like literally the like halfway point-ish. Just feel like it took so long. And it's not that the first half is like slow or anything, because I do think that the first half has like necessary scenes, and that I don't know what she would cut out, because it all feels like necessary to like build up to and like hint towards what's going on, you know? I don't know which would cut out. I think that this is a case of like every scene was necessary to happen, but I still wanted more of like just Grace going to class and like interact with her classmates too. We don't get her like a lot of like interaction, so I wanted more of that. Like even when Grace finally does go to class, she only goes to class like 1 or 2 times, then she's basically just never in class. So it's like, what the fuck's the point? The cast was beautiful, and I liked the description, but I just wish we saw more of like the classes and like what was going on in them, I guess. Because it was just very interesting, and I just want to see more of that. We just didn't see any of it, really. And I did like our main cast, and I liked the setting, and I liked all of it. But it does not feel like a 5 stars, if that makes sense. And when it comes to it being like feminist or not, I do think that Grace is at least more active in the relationship dynamic in comparison to Bella, because she does make more choices for herself, and she does force Jackson to make more like compromises in their relationship. So I do like that she has like more power, I guess, if that makes sense. I really did like it, and I do recommend it. If you want like something that's like not Twilight, that is less problematic, but with like references that'll make you think of Twilight, it's Crave for sure. And again, I liked it, and I do recommend it, but it was just not 5 stars for me. But I did totally just pre-order the sequel like yesterday, so I can't really say anything bad about it. So yeah. I think this is going to wrap up my vlog for this. I've said my thought. If you like this video, subscribe, like, share, all that shit. And hopefully I will see you next week. If you want to get into contact with me, I have all of my social media stuff linked down below. So yeah.